Okay, very importantly, today we are getting into second chapter. Um, Similar to the first chapter's understanding, once we get into the second chapter, the most important aspect of second chapter is the contents of Bhagavad Gita summarized, which means all the important message that Krishna wants to give to Arjuna, he gives it as a prelude or a preface to the entire sections of karma yoga, either it is being karma yoga, jnana yoga, all kind of yoga, whatever be it, the ultimate culmination of bhakti is also put into this particular chapter, and that is why Prabhupada named this chapter as called contents of Gita summarized, which means he wants to give this upfront through Arjuna to all of us, so that even before getting into a detailed understanding of what are the different types of yoga, how it has to be done, what is important, he gives a particular prelude. So there are many reasons of giving this as an introduction. Why? Because Krishna wants the message to come fast, so that sometimes Arjuna might understand it very quickly. Arjuna or somebody else also can take it up the bhakti process very quickly and then come. For some, it might take time. So that is why he is just giving a prelude part. For some, it will invoke some interest, it will invoke some kind of an assertive belief system that yes, Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Surrendering unto him is the best thing. Whatever I perform, whatever I act is for the pleasure of Krishna, and then all that I want in this particular piece is in this particular world to come out of it, Brahma Nirvanam Gachati. So finally he ends up that Brahma Nirvanam Adi Gachati. So you will get that moving out of the material world is one aspect. You will get Shanti, you will get Prashadam. So all kind of things he will convey. Like when he finally concludes the chapter, he'll get Prashadam, he will get Shanti, he will get Brahma Vimoham, like moving out of this particular material contamination. So he gives all those things. So he'll giving that belief that yes, it is the best thing. And thirdly, for whomsoever wants to understand little more detail, and then what is it that about it, and who takes a little bit more time to understand, but that also it is required. Okay, so that is these are main reasons. For some, it will be like very quickly, yes, okay, done, fine, I'm going ahead. So depends upon the person, but this depends upon the ignorance level of each of the persons, then this chapter can be understood. Okay, so Arjuna is on that particular pedestal where yes, the required understanding is brought, but however, let's get into more details so that it will be beneficial for all the mankind, for everybody. So let's go into Karma Yoga. Let's go into detailed of Jnana Yoga. Let's get into detailed of Dhyana Yoga. And let me get into what is meant by why you are the Supreme Person of Godhead. How do I understand? So it goes into detail of specific sections. What is meant by this material world? What is meant by this Prakriti? How do I understand it? And finally the bhakti portion is also there. So in a way, it is kind of giving a prelude so that it will invoke the interest to everybody. And also the exact process is already there. Like nowadays, when you write a theory paper, or when you write a synopsis, sorry, when you write a white paper or a journal, all you have to do is at the beginning you have to write a synopsis and give it. What is it about this 1,000 pages document is going to contain? Or when you write a particular summary, detailed essay, you have to give a summary at the top, introduction, what is in scope, so that it will give a better understanding of what is going to come in the next pages. So these are all some of the reasons. So it can have multiple way of interpretations and observations and this thing. But Prabhupada brilliantly makes this second chapter as kind of very important for us, because it will help us. Most important aspect of the second chapter from our devotion services perspective is understanding who we are. Okay, the chapters content is around 72 slokas, but most important aspect is all about the foundation in which we will be able to understand who we are. So that is the main portion, and then the next portions also build on top of it, right? So that is why Krishna builds the foundation of Atma Sakshakaram, followed by the next, for as an Atma, what he is supposed to do, how he has to take up directions, and most importantly, for a person to do any kind of an activity, more important towards bhakti, what is meant by control, what is meant by sense control, what is meant by mind control. He goes very detailed elaboration of it, and then he talks about karma, and then he talks about analytical study of intelligence, and then he ends up in a situation where yes, you have to do an act in this way. By following these ways, you will be able to understand who am I, and then what is your particular role, how is this particular relationship will go. Okay, so that is how it is kind of summarized. So how do we divide this chapter is, again, this chapter has got the understanding by which Arjuna, first 10 slokas is all about Arjuna's lamentation. He will finally put down his delusion will be at higher level. He is not able to take proper decision. Another important aspect of this particular chapter is, how do I make proper decisions? Okay, what is the ways and means by which I will be able to take proper guidance, and what is the ways by which I will be able to apply my mind appropriately. So these are all some of the very practical questions, practical aspects that will be covered in second chapter. Okay. Third is performance of karma. Why importance of karma is so much emphasized? Performance of duty, why it is so much emphasized? That is also covered. And then the last portion of devotion service. So these are the main sections that is getting covered in the second chapter. Okay. So it has got around 72 slokas, and it is divided into these different categories also. So let us pray at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada to understand how the second chapter is getting structured. Okay, so continuing from the first chapter, Arjuna, where did Sanjay end? Saying all these words, he just put his Gandivam. He just sat down and said, "Okay, let me be ready to get killed by the Kauravas. Okay, so I'm ready to get killed. I'm not going to take up the fight. So let me be ready to get killed." Okay, that is where the situation is. Okay, let's continue. Yeah. Who's supposed to read? Okay, who's supposed to
I
read?
can, yeah, I can start if you don't
Yeah.
remember the sequence. So first is mine.
Yeah,
I
we'll
can
have to
start.
put I think what we will do now, we'll have to put the numbers, Prabhu, so that each of you, by alphabetical order, we can put the numbers. Maybe later, we can put the numbers in the WhatsApp, so that when you log in with the name, okay, for example, Amit Bharadwaj, Prabhu, you put number one underscore Amit Bharat, number two Anuja Mataji, number three Anandi Mataji. Like that, we can just put so that it will be easy. Okay. Yeah. Okay. For now, you start, Prabhu. Meanwhile, I'll start putting the numbers.
Okay, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Sanjaya uvacha तं तथा कृपयावसितम् अश्रुपूर्णकुलकेक्षणम् विसिदान्तम् इदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः. Synonyms and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Sanjaya Uvacha, Sanjay said, Tam unto Arjuna, Tatha thus, Kripaya, by compassion, Avistam, overwhelmed, Ashru Purna Akula, full of tears, Ikashanam, eyes, Vishidantam, lamenting, Idam, these, Vakyam, words, Uvacha said, Madhusudana, the killer of Madhu. Translation. Uh, Prabhuji, can you please scroll? Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
translation. Sanjaya said, seeing Arjun full of compassion, his mind depressed, his eyes full of tears, Madhusudana, Krishna spoke the following words. Material compassion, lamentation, and tears are all signs of ignorance of the real self. Compassion for the eternal soul is self realization. The word Madhusudana is significant in this verse. Lord Krishna killed the demon Madhu, and now Arjuna wanted Krishna to kill the demon of misunderstanding that had overtaken him in the discharge of his duty. No one knows where compassion should be applied. Compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless. A man fallen in the ocean of nescience cannot be saved simply by rescuing his outward dress, the gross material body. One who does not know this and laments for the outward dress is called a Sudra, or one who laments unnecessarily. Arjuna was a Kshatriya, and this conduct was not expected from him. Lord Krishna, however, can dissipate the lamentation of ignorant man, and for this purpose, the Bhagavad Gita was sung by him. Uh, uh, can you scroll down, Prabhuji, a bit? This chapter instructs us in the self realization by an analytical study of the material body and the spirit soul, as explained by the Supreme Authority, Lord Sri Krishna. This realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results and is situated in the fixed conception of their real self. Hare Krishna.
Okay. So what is the important point here? Compassion for dressing. This is also a kind of an analogy. Some analogies go hand in hand along with what Krishna says, and some analogies what Prabhupada says in the purport is also very important. So compassion for the dress of a drowning man is senseless, which means a person who's always in the kind of ignorance and who's always going to be anyway going to die, we are not supposed to show compassion, okay, which is very important, because the role that Arjuna is playing is very important. What is the role he is playing a role of a kshatriya, which means he has to perform that role of acting, so role of fighting, right? So when he's doing that, he is supposed to not see them as kind of his own relatives, not to see them as his own friends, not to see them as like, oh, I should have the compassion, no, I should not kill, no, you should see them as his own enemies. So from a fight perspective, they are opposite party, I have to fight with them, I have to kill them. That is the main point, okay. So that is what Krishna is also emphasizing this point. And then the line, very importantly, what is most important thing is the realization is possible when one works without attachment to fruitive results, okay. So this is the foundation, very important. So attachment is so difficult for us to understand it by default. We might think, okay, this is okay, very easy, we can understand, but when we start applying it, we will know the effect of how much we are attached, right? So that will be done only when we move out of the concept of what is the actual material world conception of who we are, and then who is the other person. Until we see from a bodily platform, we will never be able to understand. Sorry, until we see from a Jivatma or an Atma platform, we will never be able to spend until we see them as kind of, oh, this is this person, this is so and so, this is so and so, by their material bodily identification, we will still have them kind of an attached to it. Okay, so that is the most important aspect. So this is again Sanjay had told Vishidantam idam vakyam. So when he's talking, he's telling these particular words. Okay. And understanding when analytical study is also very important. What is meant by typically when you say analytical study, right? What is meant by analytical study? This word analytical is very important. How do we understand analytical study? What is meant by analytical study? Anybody? Generally, when you say analytical study, what is it?
Going deep into the subject.
Going deep into the subject. Okay.
What is plus points and minus points of each
What is the plus point and
activity?
minus point? Correct. Okay.
Scrutiny.
Sorry.
Scrutinizing the subject.
Correct. Okay.
Scrutinizingly.
Scrutinizingly. Perfect. Perfect. Scrutinize. So analysis is more of you perform, you take references here and there. You also go very deep dive. But the understanding is, out of the analysis you should have a concrete output, concrete proof, concrete belief, concrete truth, concrete faith. Then analysis is perfect, analysis is complete, right? So you start with a particular set of belief, and then you do analyze, and then something else comes, then on top of it you do top. But it should be a progressive way of growth, not like, okay, just keep analyzing, but end of the day you don't accept anything, you're still confused, you still don't believe, means then analysis whatever we do is completely waste. Okay, the Sankhya Yoga is very importantly understood that don't keep having multiple interpretations back and forth. Having more and more will actually create more and more confusion. So you go by a certain arohanam or avarohanam. You go by a certain process. Just follow that process, and then you will have to. You keep jumping from here and there, then the analytical study is waste. So that is why Prabhupada will emphasize Sankhya Yoga understanding of an analysis of Jivatma. You should have a particular step-by-step procedure. And that is why Prabhupada also emphasizes that we go through the Shabda Pramana. So that is why you get a clear understanding and you accept the understanding. Acceptance of understanding is more important as an outcome of analysis. Yeah, we have done so much of analysis, but what is the outcome? Still not convinced. Still, it might be there. Still, like it may not be there. Means then whatever the spent time of analysis is completely waste. Okay, clear. Fine. Let's go. Bhagavan Uvacha. I think I've put the numbers to many of them. Others also I'll put. Anuja Mataji and
श्रीभगवानुवाच कुतस्त्वाकश्मलमिदं विषमे समुपस्थितम् जुष्टमस्वर्ग्यम् अकीर्तिकरमर्जुन. Shall I read what word also, Prabhuji?
yes, yes, Mataji.
Okay. Sri Bhagavan Vacha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, Kuta, where from, tva unto you, Kshamalam, dirtiness, idam, this lamentation, Vishami, in this hour of crisis, Samupasthitam, arrived, Anarya, persons who do not know the value of life, Jushatam, practiced by Aswargyam, which does not lead the higher planets, Akirti, infamy, Karam, the cause of Arjuna, O Arjuna. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, how have these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a man who knows the value of life. They lead not to higher planets, but to me. Purport. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead are identical. Therefore, Lord Krishna is referred to as Bhagavan throughout the Gita. Bhagavan is the ultimate in the absolute truth. The absolute truth is realized in three phrases of understanding, namely Brahman, or impersonal or pervasive spirit, Paramatma, or the localized aspect of the Supreme within the heart of all living entities, and Bhagavan, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Krishna, in the Srimad Bhagavatam 1.2.11. This conception of the Absolute Truth is explained thus. Vadanti tat tat vadanti tat tattvavidas तत्त्वं यज्ञानम् अद्वयं ब्रह्म ब्रह्मेति परमात्मेति भगवानिति सभ्यते. The absolute truth is realized in three phrases of understanding by the knower of the absolute truth, and all of them are identical. Such phrases of the absolute truth are expressed as Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. These three divine aspects can be explained by the example of sun, which also has three different aspects, namely the sunshine, the sun's surface, and the sun planet itself. One who studies the sunshine only, is the preliminary student. One who understands the sun's surface is further advanced, and one who can enter into the sun planet is the highest. Ordinary students who are satisfied by simply understanding the sunshine, its universal pervasiveness, and the glaring effulgence of its impersonal nature, may be compared to those who can realize only the Brahman feature of the Absolute Truth. The student who has advanced still further can know the sun disk, which is compared to knowledge of the Paramatma feature of the Absolute Truth, and the student who can enter into the heart of the sun planet is compared to those who realize the personal features of the Supreme Absolute Truth. Therefore, the Bhaktas, or the transcendentalists who have realized the Bhagavan feature of the Absolute Truth, are the topmost transcendentalists, although all students who are engaged in the study of the Absolute Truth are engaged in the same subject matter. The sunshine, the sun disk, and The inner affairs of the sun planet cannot be separated from one another, and yet the students of three different phases are not in the same category.
Thank
This
you,
is
Mataji. Yeah, just hold on. Thank you, Mataji. Okay.
thank you.
So very nice purport. So Prabhupada is making in one point. Actually, initially Krishna becomes little angry. Krishna is like kind of upset. Okay, but he didn't want to show that he is upset or angry. So he's kind of scolding. Okay, Anarejustam Asvargam Akirti Karamachna. Hey, what is it you are trying to do? Where did this kind of kashmalam? Where did this kind of bad impurities or bad qualities that came into your mind? And then whatever that you are trying to do is it will give you actually your fame will go away, you'll get ill fame. Okay, what is that? You are not able to understand what is they're supposed to do. You are a kshatriya, you're supposed to fight. Okay, and he's making a point very clear. They are all not befitting a man who knows the value of life. It is mean what? You are a higher position, you are a higher situation. So sometimes as leaders, as parents, or as a particular responsible person, sometimes we are in a situation where we try to speak or we try to convey might be very uh, at a very low level, right? So there should be some higher authority to come and say what is this you are supposed to do in this way. You should. They sometimes they'll come and tell us what is our real position, right? Same way, Arjuna's real position as a devotee is one aspect, but as a leader is also a very important aspect. So that is where Krishna is making a point. You are supposed to do this, okay? And once you are not doing their activity, this is the answer he's making. So in the previous chapter, he was making that point that, oh, I will trilokyam kudami. So even in three worlds, if I get victory, I'm not happy. But here Krishna is saying, if you don't do this activity, if you don't perform fighting and doing the act of your karma, then actually you will get more of infame. You will get a lot of bad name, and then you will never get higher plans also. So you have to do your duty. That is the first aspect of it. Okay, and Prabhupada in the purport is making it very important. Understanding of Krishna is very important. So if you read through the purport and the translation, no way it might be related sometimes. Okay, hey, what is this? Krishna is saying, oh, you have to do this one. Why? Any thought? If you read through the translation and purport, generally purport is the expansion of the translation, correct? But what is it Prabhupada wants to make us understand? Anybody?
Prabhuji, Prabhupada is trying to make us understand, first of all, what is meant by Bhagavan and who is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so that before we come to the message that he is speaking, we first understand who he is in reality.
Correct. Thank you, Mataji. So this is the first one where directly Krishna is talking. That is, even in first chapter there was one direct, indirect understanding of what Krishna was talking, but here is the first one where it says Bhagavan Uvacha, right? So fundamentally, we have to understand who is this Bhagavan. Nowhere it is mentioned as Krishna. So who is this Bhagavan? So anybody, any reader, anybody who needs to understand what is the definition of Bhagavan is important, and how the word Bhagavan is directly in connection with, or it is directly related for the word Krishna only. Okay, that is why the first word itself is used. Krishna and the Supreme Personality of Godhead is identical. Nowhere we will use Bhagavan for somebody else. There are references in Bhagavatam, but that is for a separate purpose. But no way any other demigod, any other devata called as Bhagavan. There are some reference in Bhagavatam that is for glorification of that particular. For example, Narada might be called as Bhagavan somewhere, or any other devotee might be called as Bhagavan somewhere, but that is all specifically to glorify that particular devotee. But here it is a fact that needs to be established very importantly. So Prabhupada is making that point very clearly. So one is the translation portion, but purport Prabhupada wants to take a message to all of us is, please realize who's Bhagavan. So that is why this Brahmeti Paramatmeti Tat. So this sloka is also Vadinte Tat Tadvigya. So this particular portion of understanding who's the Paramatma inside us, who's the Brahman realization, and then the Bhagavan realization. Okay, so for that is the wonderful this sunshine example, sun rays and sunshine, the sun planet itself, then the rays, and then the, so this is one way of understanding the large energy manifestation, large external energy manifestation, and the Lord himself. So Lord himself has got some characteristics, certain features, And Lord's energy manifestation also has got some features, some characteristics, and which is nothing but the same Supreme Lord's expansion only, right? So we cannot underestimate, okay, this is all sun. No, all are equal only. But based upon the level of understanding and the knowledge, we have to see it in three different aspects. And there are some specific purposes why he is coming as Paramatma, why he is also expanding as the Brahman throughout the entire material manifestation. So there are specific purposes based upon the knowledge and based upon the goal. Each of the persons, each of the devotees will try to aim and achieve for that. But what Prabhupada wants us is to have that Bhagavan realization. Initially, we can start with the Paramatma realization and then the Brahman realization also. But ultimately, we should have Paramatma is Bhagavan realization, which means we should have a direct relationship in connection with him, so that it is one-on-one directly in connection with him to for us to perform the devotion service, for us to perform the wonderful bhakti. Okay, there might be some wonderful conversation, some kind of relationship within the Paramatma and yourself. You'll be Atma Rama. You'll be happy when you are able to realize Paramatma. But that is one level, and then you are able to see the wonderful manifestation of the Supreme Lord as Brahman realization. That will also give you happy. Anything you see black, anything you see wonderful nature, it is all Krishna's energy. It will give you that anandam. It will give you that happiness. But parasparam, that relationship to make bhakti, to do your seva, you need to have the Bhagavan realization. So that is why Prabhupada in the first chapter, this first section itself, he is making that point very clear that therefore for the bhaktas, their goal is to get into the Bhagavan realization. Okay, fine. Let's continue. Anybody else? Next, read this section also. Very important.
The Sanskrit word Bhagavan is explained by the great authority Parasara Muni, the father of Vyasadeva, the supreme personality who possesses all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation is called Bhagavan. There are many persons who are very rich, very powerful, very beautiful, very famous, very learned, and very much detached. But no one can claim that he possesses all riches, all strength, etc. entirely. Only Krishna can claim this because he is the supreme personality of Godhead. No living entity, including Brahma, Lord Shiva, or Narayana, can possess opulence as fully as Krishna. Therefore, it is concluded in the Brahma Samhita but by Lord Brahma himself that Lord Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. No one is equal to or above him. He is the primeval Lord or Bhagavan known as Govinda, and he is the supreme cause of all causes. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam. There are many personalities possessing the qualities of Bhagavan, but Krishna is the supreme because none can excel him. He is the supreme person and his body is eternal, full of knowledge and bliss. He is the primeval Lord Govinda and the cause of all causes. Brahma Samhita 5.1. In the Bhagavatam also, there is a list of many incarnations of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but Krishna is described as the original personality of Godhead, from whom many incarnations and personalities of Godhead expand. Ete chamsa kalaha pumsaha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayante Yuge Yuge. All the all the lists of the incarnation of Godhead submitted herewith are either planary expansions or parts of the planary expansions of the Supreme Godhead. But Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Himself. Bhagavatam 1.3.28. Therefore, Krishna is the original Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Absolute Truth, the source of both the Supersoul and the impersonal Brahman. In the presence of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna's lamentation for his kinsman is certainly unbecoming, and therefore Krishna expressed his surprise with the word Buddha, wherefrom such impurities were never expected from a person belonging to the civilized class of men known as Aryans. The word Aryan is applicable to persons who know the value of life and have a civilization based on the spiritual realization. Persons who are led by the material conception of life do not know that the aim of life is realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and they are captivated by the external features of the material world, and therefore they do not know what liberation is. Persons who have no knowledge of liberation from material bondage are called non-Aryans. Although Arjuna was a Kshatriya, he was deviating from his prescribed duties by declining to fight. This act of cowardice is described as befitting the non-Aryans. Such deviation from duty does not help one in the progress of spiritual life, nor does it even give one the opportunity to become famous in this world. Lord Krishna did not approve of the so called compassion of Arjuna for his kinsman. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So this is no way compassion. So whatever Arjuna's point of view of, oh, they are my Matulaha, my Susuraha, my so many relatives. This he was trying to put everything right, and bringing his compassion. But Krishna is saying there is no point of compassion here at all. Okay, that is the first point. And then Prabhupada is also bringing out this Ita Chacha, I mean, Ete Chamcha Kala Pumsha. This is also very important. This section is talking all about Krishna's understanding of the Supreme Lord as Bhagavan. And then whatever expansions, everything, whatever you say, expansion of expansion is all nothing but that from that Supreme Person. Like Prabhupada also given an example. Like you have one candle, and then from that candle you start getting multiple candles to light, but the first candle always remains unique, separate, right? So the same way, even though there are multiple candles that get light, then get same feature, the same thing, but the first one always remains unique and identical, right? So that is why Krishna is separate. We should understand Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. All other things are expansion, and then partial expansion and plenary expansion, etc. Okay, this question also. And Prabhupada is making a very nice statement here. Persons who are led by the material conceptions of life do not know the aim of life in self-realization. So what is our aim of life? Making a very nice line. What is the aim of our life? What is goal of our life? Is first realization of who we are, realization of the absolute truth, Vishnu or Bhagavan, and we are captivated, or we are binded, we are imprisoned by the external features of the material world, and therefore I have to get liberated. I have to get out of this material world. So that is the fundamental aspect of understanding what is the aim of goal of life. So aim of life means not to have any kind of sukha bhoga, like having wonderful enjoyment, middle sense gratification in this material world. Aim of life in the specifically in the human body, because in other bodies with a lesser intelligence, in animal body or any other body with a lesser intelligence and lesser capacity, that jivatma will not get an opportunity to move out or come out of the material world. Only through the human form, because of a higher intelligence, the aim of life or goal of life can be achieved. What is the aim of goal of life? Is Atma Sakshakaram, self-realization and Bhagavan realization. And third is all about my relationship with him, so that I will be able to move out of this material world. That's all. Okay. So Arjuna as a Kshatriya. So Prabhupada is talking about Aryans and non-Aryans, etc. So Aryans means a person who have a better intelligence, who perform their duty as per the dharma, as per the prescribed duties. So here, as an Aryan, he comes from a very aristocratic family. His family, his lineage is all at a higher level, which means right from their childhood, whatever knowledge, whatever aspects of fighting, everything he has, Dharma Shastra, all those things he has learned, right? So he cannot just like that say, no, I will not do that now activity. Okay? That is the main point. And then Krishna is making that emphasis on a very important aspect. Okay, continue. Let's quickly go through. So now Krishna will continuously keep talking to a certain extent, where Arjuna will start getting an understanding, and then Arjuna will make a surrender now. So first a few slokas from second sloka to sixth sloka, fifth sloka, Krishna will scold him. Hey, what is this? What is this? And then finally Arjuna will surrender, and then Krishna will start talking. Okay.
Prabhuji, if we have sorry, Prabhuji, if you have questions on the previous two shlokas, I'm not really
Go ahead.
I mean, So I think the two shlokas were making a comparison of that whole Advaita Vedanta and our Gaudiya Vaishnavas. But is it a good time to discuss all of that? And especially when the conception of Krishna is talked about, like, who Krishna is, and then he's interchangeably used with the word Vishnu, because in Bhagavatam, it's clearly explained. I mean, the Vishnus and the three Vishnus, and then who
So you
Krishna
have to
is.
be little, yes, Prabhu, understood, Amit Prabhu. So what I will suggest is the right time for discussion of that particular Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, and our philosophy as well as Vishnu form, we can discuss in the during the seventh chapter portion. In the
Okay,
seventh
Prabhu.
chapter is the knowledge of absolute truth and understanding the attaining the supreme eighth. So in the knowledge of the absolute truth, Prabhupada will reveal about who is Krishna from different types of Vishnu, and then also the philosophical understanding of Dvaita, Advaita, Vishishta Advaita, and then our philosophy of Achintya Bheda Abheda Tattva. So I have a mapping between all these four. So that time we can go a little deep dive, because there that time we will talk about who is the Karnodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, who is the Shirodakshaya Vishnu, and then the other aspects of Balram's expansion of Aniruddha, Pradyumna, like that it will come, Balram. So all those things will come when we go into that particular section. So here, my suggestion is just accept it as it is. Then you will be able to get it, because in the seventh chapter only Krishna's revelation about the Brahman, about the external energy manifestation, that whomsoever at a lower level of intelligence, if they are not able to understand Krishna as the Param Purusha Bhagavan, at least go to these levels. At least try to understand Krishna in the form of air, Krishna in the form of water, Krishna in the form of soil, like that it will come. So in that aspect, if you go through, I think then you'll get a better understanding there. Is that okay, Prabhu?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. Okay. Somebody else, Prabhu? Anybody? There was some other person. Pandu Prabhu? No.
Just
Yeah, Prabhu.
quick question, Baba Krishna. So here is Krishna is saying, I mean, he's telling that he didn't expect this from Arjuna, right? So this lamentation, compassion. Again, when Krishna brought the Radha to in front of Dronacharya, and this is expected to an extent, and if not, Krishna doesn't have a chance to speak about this Gita, right? This, I mean, why we have used this, Krishna is used this, I didn't expect from you.
Yeah. So in one way, Krishna knows it. Actually, that is because we are like outside the ring. We are able to realize it. Okay. And because we are Prabhupada, we are through Prabhupada, we are able to understand. But if we are in Arjuna's shoes, we'll never be able to understand. Okay. So that is where, see, now we know, because Krishna wantedly put him in that situation so that he will come, because we are little outside. We are seeing from an outer perspective. But in that particular situation, Arjuna is not having that. So now Krishna wants to these two slokas are little more kind of provoking him, like, hey, what is this you're supposed to do? So he is kind of making him to the last extent possible, so that he'll finally say no, nothing, and then he will say, please guide me. The main point of Arjuna, sorry, Krishna making him to Arjuna is, you have to ask me. Okay, how do you ask me? I don't know anything. I know what is best for me is only you can tell me. You tell me. Shreyas mom. So he will tell, and then Krishna will start telling. So it is kind of a little last section where, even in a normal conversation also, when somebody is arguing, right, you just wait till the last portion and say, is it all done? Are you all done? Can I talk? So making him a kind of a last state, and then start talking. So in a way, that is what the understanding is.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah. Prabhu?
Prabhuji, one question here, that as a devotee, that fame or defame, it doesn't matter. So why Krishna is emphasizing about the defame? If he doesn't fight, then it will happen like that.
Now here, Krishna is trying to answer the question. He was telling about the previous chapter when, I don't mind get anything. I don't mind getting ill fame also. I don't mind getting in this one. So he was trying to put all arguments. So Krishna is trying to make that point. Hey, if you don't fight, you will still get ill fame. If you fight and lose also, you will get ill fame. So it's better do that activity. So he wants to make sure that he understands the purpose of his activity, or purpose of his particular performance of his duty. So in the previous sections, he was mentioning, oh, I will get this, I will get that. So to make that point, to make him understand, he is bringing at that point. as a not as a devotee here. Here he is just making us a. He is not talking Krishna. I mean, Krishna is talking Arjuna as like kind of a, oh, you are a devotee. You are supposed to not worry about whether ill fame and all. No, he is making him as a point of a Kshatriya. So Krishna is not addressing Arjuna as kind of a devotee here. He is making him like kind of a particular Kshatriya as a particular role you are doing. You are supposed to do. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So then, anything, any more, or should I read the next?
Yeah, you can read, Mataji.
Thank you. क्लेब्यं मास्मागमः पार्थ नैतत्त्वयुपपद्यते क्षुद्रं हृदय दौर्बल्यं त्यक्तोत्तिष्ठ परन्तप. क्लेब्यं impotence. Masma, do not. Gamah, take to. Partha, O son of Pritha. No, never. Etat, this. Tvai, unto you. Upapadyate is befitting. Shudram, petty. Hridaya, of the heart. Daurbalyam, weakness. Tyaktva, giving up. Uttishta, get up. Paramatapa, O chastiser of the enemies. O son of Pritha, do not yield to this degrading impotence. It does not become you. Give up such petty weakness of heart and arise, O chastiser of the enemy. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Arjuna was addressed as the son of Pritha, who happened to be the sister of Krishna's father Vasudeva. Therefore, Arjuna had a blood relationship with Krishna. If the son of a Kshatriya declines to fight, he is a Kshatriya in name only. And if a son of a Brahmana acts impiously, he is a Brahmana in name only. Such Kshatriya and Brahmanas are unworthy sons of their fathers. Therefore, Krishna did not want Arjuna to become an unworthy son of a Kshatriya. Arjuna was the most intimate friend of Krishna, and Krishna was directly guiding him on the chariot. But in spite of all these credits, if Arjuna abandoned the battle, he would be committing an infamous act. Therefore, Krishna said that such an attitude in Arjuna did not fit his personality. Arjuna might argue that he would give up the battle on the grounds of his magnanimous attitude for the most respectable Bhishma and his relatives, but Krishna considered that sort of magnanimity mere weakness of heart. Such false magnanimity was not approved by any authority. Therefore, such magnanimity or so-called non-violence should be given up by persons like Arjuna under the direct guidance of Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hare Krishna. False magnanimity, very nice definition. Any other example we can think about false magnanimity? There is a normal, chalo, okay, I will leave you. Okay, I'll give you pardon. Okay, sometimes when there is an argument or where there is something where you feel like, okay, you don't want to continue, you don't want to. Sometimes, as though just to end that conversation or end to just give up or just to more from a moving out of the particular act performance, right? You just simply say, okay, let me not do it. Okay, so that is
Shishupala and Krishna.
Shishupala also okay. Shishupala was trying to be like kind of. Shishupala had a lot of envy. Okay, the main point is the character of Shishupal is exhibition of envy. When right from childhood and when everybody were glorifying Krishna, wow, Krishna, then the envy started coming. Both were of the same grown up, same everything. But as he grew, he started getting a lot of envy because Krishna was able to do so much of act. In fact, when he was trying to get Rukmini Devi, Shishupal was there. So before that also, when he married so many other queens also, envy started getting. Even from childhood also, when there is a lot of family gathering, everything, it happens, right? When some children are getting, oh, you tumka bada mark, you got a lot of good marks. मेरा बेटा तो average है. Like that, if you start talking in front of the children, which is again a very important aspect, then we will start getting it, right? The same thing happened for Shishupala. So Shishupal's point is more of envy. and then envy, culmination of envy is his point. Okay, but not false magnanimity. False magnanimity has got a lot of other examples also.
Prabhuji, how about Karna?
Karna also okay to some extent, but Karna had, yeah, to some extent he's okay. Magnanimity is like, somebody does a wrong thing, you just forgive. Magnanimity doesn't here means like, okay, I'm giving you everything. I have everything mine. मैं आपको पूरा दान दे रहा हूँ. As though in one way that is correct. But magnanimity in general principle is like somebody has done something incorrect or something, you just forgive them. Okay, that is the aspect. And giving dan is also one way of magnanimity. But Karna, to some extent, yeah, we can say. But Karna was really from a character perspective. Um, he had the qualifications, he had the good qualities, he had everything, but unfortunately in a wrong position. Okay, so that is what is Karna's character part. Okay. Okay, let us continue. So Prabhupada is talking about Brahmanas and Kshatriyas. So as a Brahmana and a Kshatriya, they are supposed to be worthy of their particular birth, and then they are supposed to perform their karma. Okay, continue. Let's continue. And the word non-violence is ahimsa. Portion is in the other. He's trying to address this through the atatayanaha, right? Where he's saying, okay, these people will kill, then I'll get. So this also will come in the next sections where Krishna will specifically target about what is meant by sin, and when you will get sin and when you will not get sin. Okay, that is also very important. That also he will address. Okay, let us try to finish at least 5 slokas today. Okay, 5 to 6 slokas.
Arjuna,
Good.
Arjuna Uvacha Katam Bhishmam Aham Sankhe Dronam Cha Madhusudana Ishubhihi Pratiyo Pratiyotyasmi Pujarho Arisudana. Synonyms. Arjuna Vacha. Arjuna said, Katam. How? Bhishmam. Bhishma. Aham. I.
Sorry, bro. Yeah.
No problem. Sankhe in the fight. Dronam. Drona. Cha. Also. Madhusudana. O killer of Madhu. Ishubhi. With arrows. Pratiyotsyami. Shall counterattack. Pujarho. Those who are worshipable. Ari Sudana. O killer of the enemies. Translation. Arjuna said, O killer of enemies, O killer of Madhu, how can I counter attack with arrows in the battle men like Bhishma and Drona who are worthy of my worship? Purport. Respectable superiors like Bhishma, the grandfather, and Dronacharya, the teacher, are always worshipable. Even if they attack, they should not be counterattacked. It is general etiquette that superiors are not to be offered even a verbal fight. Even if they are sometimes harsh in behavior, they should not be harshly treated. Then how is it possible for Arjuna to counterattack them? Would Krishna ever attack his own grandfather Ugrasena or his teacher Sandipa Muni? These were some of the arguments offered by Arjuna to Krishna.
So what will be our reflection? Prabhupada is making a question to us. Hey, you just by reading this, what you will understand. See, Arjuna's point is also very clear, no? See, they are all pujarva, they are all worshipful personalities. Bhishma and my Kulaguru and then Dronacharya are all worshipful personalities. I cannot what to speak of arguing, right? It is general etiquette that we don't even argue. Whatever they say, we just accept, right? But now it is like as I have to fight with them, which is like completely not acceptable. So Prabhupada is making a point here. What if Krishna is put in this particular position and he is supposed to fight with Ugrasena and his teacher Sandipa Muni? What is so he's making a point here, right? But actually Krishna will say what is the response to this in the coming sections. You are seeing this person as Bhishma, you are seeing this person as Drona, but if you are a Kshatriya, you are trying to act, he is just a jivatma in a particular body, and he is playing a role of an enemy, and your role is to fight against him and If required, you have to wound him, or you have to make an injury, or you have to kill him. That is the act. But you are seeing that personality as Drona, that personality as Bhishma, which is incorrect. So that is what Krishna will come and will convey in the next sections. Okay. Next word, it is generally that superiors are not to be offered even verbal fight. Okay, so all the parents will say, see, my children are nowadays, arguing for everything. They are coming and arguing, but in my days, I don't even argue with my father or my mother. Whatever they say, I will just follow. Okay, but my children are not at all listening to me. Okay, so these are all some of the aspects that we need to understand. How do we make them? So the way we behave is the way we have to make our children also make and understand. Okay, so that is where we have to understand. Okay, so let's go. So slowly, if you see from that sloka, he's getting into a different meter, different way of putting his point. So previous sloka, he just said, "Oh, I cannot fight," because slowly in this sloka, from fifth sloka to sixth sloka to seventh sloka, his tone, his voice, his way of conveying also will completely change, and then he will make a complete surrender. Okay, Guru Nahatva hi Mahanubhavan Sheyo Bhoktam Baikshukum. He's saying Baikshukum, ready to beg also. Hatvarta Kamamstu Guruni Heva Bunji Yabohan Rudira Pradignan. Yeah, Mataji. Who's supposed to read?
Can I read, Prabhu?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I think I have the numbers there. Yeah, Chandrakan Prabhu. Yeah. Continue. 2 and 3.
Guru,
Chandra.
Gurun, the superiors. Ahatva, not killing. He, certainly. Maha Anubhavan, great souls. Shreya is better. It is better. Bhaktam, to enjoy life. Bhakti, Bhakhyam, by begging. Api, even. Iha, in this file. Loke, in this world. Hatva, killing. Artha, gain. Kaman, desiring. To, but. Gurun, superiors. Iha, in this world. Iva, certainly. Bhun, Bhunjiya, one has to enjoy. Bhag, Bhogan, enjoyable things. Rudhira, blood. Pradighan, tainted with. It would be better to live in this world by begging than to live at the cost of the lives of great souls who are my teachers. Even though desiring worldly gain, they are superior. If they are killed, uh, everything me everything we enjoy will be tainted with blood. Purport by A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki jai. According to the scriptural codes, a teacher who engages in an abominable action and has lost his sense of discrimination is fit to abandon. Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance, although they should not have accepted such a position simply on financial considerations. Under the circumstances, they have lost the respectability of teachers. But Arjuna thinks that nevertheless they remain in his superiors, and therefore to enjoy material profits after killing them would mean to enjoy spoils tainted with blood.
Thank you, Prabhu. So when a teacher can be abandoned is have two aspects. One, generally when they do any abominable action, and two, if they are going against the shastric injunctions, and three, if they are doing anything for their own sense gratification, then it is okay to get to make them abandoned. Okay. Another example from Bhagavatam. Any quick example from Bhagavatam?
Shukracharya.
Sukracharya. Okay, Sukracharya in Bali, Vamana Dev and Bali Maharaj example. Sukracharya is also a wonderful example. Okay, so that same way Prabhupada is making this point. Okay, so what Arjuna is saying, it is Guru na Hatvana Mahanubhava. They are all Mahanubhavas. They are all great personalities. It is better actually to, instead of doing anything, it is better to go and beg. Okay, so if they kill my entire my whatever I trying to enjoy is tainted with blood. We always say tainted with blood. So Krishna, Arjuna is taking that point like, so I don't want that kind of thing, and just by killing them, what is that I'm going to get? It is better that I do not fight at all. Okay, so continue.
Here, I mean, that financial assistance that Prabhupada ji has mentioned, that Bhishma and Drona were obliged to take the side of Duryodhana because of his financial assistance. I mean,
Yeah,
in Drona's case, it might be too, but Bhishma, since he was bound by his pratigya for,
correct.
the seat of Hastinapur, so how was that financial assistance?
Yeah, so this is more from Drona's perspective. It is mentioned, but still Bhishma is also included because he was still part of the other side. That's all. There is nothing specifically why Bhishma is also part of, from a financial perspective. I think I don't we don't have to go into deeper understanding of why Prabhupada included both of them, but more from a understanding of putting all of them together in Duryodhana's side is more of this particular reason. That's all. Don't Let's not get into that. This one. Okay. Yeah, Drona is absolutely correct. Bhishma may not be fitting into that financial consideration, but still, Prabhupada wants him to put in that because he had taken up that pratigya, and he also was protecting the Kuru dynasty. And anyway, he was living there. He was taking up all the position, whatever comfort, whatever everything provided by the family, he was taking it. So in one way, indirectly, he was actually having that considerations also, not directly in one perspective, but indirectly he is still continuing that. So in that way we can understand. Okay, like how Karna was obliged, right? Karna was obliged because he was given a position, he was given a particular kingdom, he was obliged. So there was a direct consideration. Same way we have to just interpret. Okay. Okay, let's continue.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Tanpat
Hare
Pranam. Yeah, text 6. नाचेतद्विद्मा कतरन्नो गर्यो यद्वा जायमा यदि वा नो जययु याने यान यान एव हत्वा न जिजीविषामस्तेव स्थिता प्रमुखे धातराष्ट्रः ते देवाश्रिता प्रमुखे राष्ट्राः. Synonyms: na, nor, cha, also, itad, this, vidmaha, do we know, katrat, which, na, for us, gariha, better, yatva, whether, jayama, we may conquer, yadi, if, va, or, naha, us, jayayuhu, they conquer, yan, those who, eva, certainly, hatva, by killing, na, never, jiji, vishwa, ashmaha, we would want to live, they, all of them, avishtitaha, are situated pramukhe in the front, Dhritarashtra, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation: nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of a Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. Purport: Arjuna did not know whether he should fight and risk unnecessary violence, although fighting is the duty of a Kshatriya, or whether he should refrain and live by begging. If he did not conquer the enemy, begging would be his only means of a subsistence, nor was there certainty of victory, because either side might emerge victorious. Even if victory awaited them and their cause was justified, still, if the sons of Dhritarashtra died in a battle, it would be very difficult to live in their absence. Under the circumstances, that would be another kind of defeat for them. All this consideration by Arjuna definitely proved that not only was he a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also highly enlightened and had complete control over his mind and senses. His desire to live by begging, although he was born in the royal household, is another sign of detachment. He was truly victorious as these qualities combined with his faith in the words of instruction of Sri Krishna, his spiritual master, indicate. It is concluded that Arjuna was a quite fit for liberation. Unless the senses are controlled, there is no chance of elevation to the platform of knowledge. And without knowledge and devotion, there is no chance of liberation. Arjuna was a competent in all these attributes over and above his enormous attributes in his material relationship. Hare Krishna. Thank you,
Thank you.
Prabhuji.
So this is again one way Prabhupada is glorifying Arjuna, because he's getting ready, he's making the ground ready, like by making himself completely surrendering, which means his mind, his senses, everything is he's like completely going. So he is in a situation where I am no more a kshatriya. I can become a beggar also. I don't mind anything, but I don't want to do this. In a way where, in one sense, it is more of not to do an act, not to this one. But in another way is he is the word in Sanskrit, the word correct word is, or Sanskrit English, sorry, in Hindi the word saralata. Saralata means very innocent, very naive, and then very, so he's making that to that extent. Then the knowledge portion will start. So that is why Prabhupada is making this nice point that yes, he is getting qualified. What is that qualification? Qualification to get knowledge, qualification to get understanding, qualification to get bhakti. The first thing is to control the mind and senses, and then moving out of an attachment state to a detachment state. That is the first basic qualification for us to get gyan, to get that jnana yoga or knowledge. So slowly you will be able to see how Arjuna's transformation is from a very stubborn person to a melting down position. Now he is like making it very clear, I'm getting into this state where whatever Krishna, whatever you're going to say, it is perfectly fine, I'm going to continue that. So that is what his point is. Okay, nice sloka this is actually. And he's also making it, Arjuna did not know whether, this is a very important line. This line is also nachai vidmaha karataran nagariyo, which means I don't know which is better, which is good for me, which is bad for me, right? Sometimes in a very harsh argument, finally we will say, no, before we give up, we'll say, okay, whatever you want to do, I'll do it. Whatever you say, I'll do, right? You are if you are having a conversation between husband, wife, family, here and there, finally you will say, okay, just to end up that particular thing, you will say, no, let me do whatever you want. But here it is where Arjuna's indecision is completely in a state where he knows that he is not able to take. So which means he is accepting his point of failures. Okay, acceptance of failure is very, very important. Sometimes we will never accept our failures at all. Okay, so that is where we will get that blockage. But here Arjuna is accepting, yes, I'm not able to take proper decisions, please guide me. I'm not able to know what is right and wrong, so please help me. In the next sloka he will completely reveal and then say, yes, I'm surrendering. And most importantly, he will say, I don't know what is good for me, but I know one thing very sure, whatever you are saying is going to be good for me. That is the enlightenment, that is the realization. Okay, so that is the fact of surrender, that is the point of, that the pivotal point of this one. When you go and ask advice. Okay, we'll go to that particular sloka and then discuss that. Yeah, please read the sloka. Please, everybody has to read the sloka. This is kind of by heart sloka. Karpanya dosho bhatasva bhavaha prichami tvam dharma samuda chetaha yasya nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadhimam tvam prapannam. Yeah. Who's going to read?
Karpanya of miserliness, dosa by the weakness, upahata being afflicted, Swabaha characteristic, Prichami I am asking, Tvam unto you, Dharma religion, Samudha bewildered, Chetaha in heart, Yat what, Sreyaha all good, Syat maybe, Nischayam confidentially, Bruhi tell that may unto me, Shishya discipline. Te, yours. Aham, I am. Sadi, just instruct. Mom, me. Tvam, unto you. Prapannam, surrendered. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now I am confused about my duty and I have lost all composure because of miserly weakness. In this condition, I am asking you to tell me for certain that what is best for me. Now I am your disciple and a soul surrender unto you. Please instruct me. Purport. By nature's own view of complete system of material activities is a source of perplexity for everyone. In every step there is perplexity, and therefore it behoves one to approach a bona fide spiritual master who can give one proper guidance for executing the purpose of life. All Vedic literature advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master to get free from the perplexities of life, which happens without our desire. They are like a forest fire that somehow blazes without being set by anyone. Similarly, the world situation is such that perplexities of life automatically appears without our wanting such confusion. No one wants fire, and yet it takes place, and we become perplexed. The Vedic wisdoms therefore advises that in order to solve the perplexities of life and to understand the science of the solution, one must approach the spiritual master who is in the disciplic succession. A person with a bona fide spiritual master is supposed to know everything. One should not therefore remain in material perplexities, but should approach a spiritual master. This is the purport of this verse.
Thank you, Prabhu. Just let's
Hare Krishna.
hold on to this. Just hold on to this. Very nice purport. We need to contemplate on this word today. When you think about the word perplexities of life, this is a very, very nice Prabhupada is using, and all our acharyas, our ISKCON acharyas have glorified this word perplexities of life. Very nice word, actually, because it is directly connecting to us and who we are, what are we doing, and how are we facing our day-to-day life, day-to-day challenges, and then certain aspects which we will never expect would have happened, right? So if you just think about certain aspects of what is by perplexity of life, then you will think about so many things that will come in your mind. Okay, so just to hold to that thought, before to hold the thought, every word in this particular sloka is so beautifully put. Karpanya, because it is his miserly weakness. Dosha means, usually dosha means fault, right? In normal Sanskrit or any other language, dosha means fault or weakness or some kind of minus negativity, right? But here Prabhupada is giving the word dosham as weakness. So which means we have to accept our weakness, the importance of acceptance of weakness. Okay, and swabhava, it is part of my swabhava itself. Sometimes we will never accept our swabhava strength and weakness, right? So here Arjuna fantastically saying my swabhava by default I have this weakness, and who can help me, who can nishchitam, who can guide me. And I am asking you, I'm bewildered, my chetasa, my from my heart I don't know, and I'm nishchita, definitely I know who can give me this instruction is te aham sadi mam prapanch. So only you, mom, only you can do it. So I want to become your disciple, right? Definitely when somebody takes shelter of an acharya, right, why are you choosing me as your disciple? So people will always say, oh, you are the best person, you are the wonderful, you are the best. But most importantly, we have to say we are not, we are in a situation in such a way that only he can deliver us, right? So in that way, we need to understand how a guru, an acharya, and a disciple's relationship is. Very nice. So this sloka is all about understanding of a disciple and an acharya. The same thing will come in the fourth chapter, 34th sloka, about what is meant by guru and disciple relationship. Okay, Tadvidya Pradipatena sloka. So in Tadvidya Pradipatena sloka, that also where Prabhupada will make a very nice important understanding about who is an acharya, what is the qualification of a disciple, and then how a disciple should serve the acharya to get the knowledge. He's a tattva darshana. Same way here, This is the surrender sloka. This is the first. There are multiple surrender slokas in Bhagavad Gita. This is the first surrender sloka. In the first surrender sloka itself, he is making it very clear. I don't know what is exactly good for me, but I am very sure that you are the only person who can give me correct understanding, correct knowledge, correct guidance, and make proper decisions. So I want to be your shishya. Okay. Then slowly Krishna will start talking. Okay. And then if you want to contemplate on this word, Prabhupada is making very one has to have a bona fide spirit. There is no question of not having a spiritual master. And Prabhupada, wherever you're using spiritual master, you use the word bona fide also. Not like all kind of spiritual master. A bona fide spiritual master, which means a spiritual master who comes from the disciplined succession, who comes from the Guru Parampara, who is authorized from the Parampara system. Okay, that is what is most importantly. Okay, perplexities of life. What kind of perplexity of life we have faced? Anybody want to share their own personal or your own across the society? We have seen a lot of perplexities of life, right?
A lot of cyclones, seismic pressure.
Cyclones, clean pressures, anything that is Adi Daivik, we can say. Okay, good.
Our own body. Our own body.
Our own body. Okay. Our own body, how?
Any kind of pain in the body or
Any kind of the pain in the body. You might not have
fever
expected
or
something. You might not have expected. You might have thought, "Oh, this is the best thing. I am doing perfectly fit everything," but suddenly your body will not cooperate with you, which means you will never would have expected this thing to happen. So it's kind of a word perplexity is kind of bewildering, not to know how it came or why it came, and there is no reason behind it at all. Perplexity is opposite to having no reason at all. It is confusing. It is kind of bewildering, not having a clear, defined solution. Okay.
And sudden problems comes in our house, life, without we are expecting, and what steps to take. There are many steps to take, but which one is what we need to do? That's a confusion.
Correct. So, Prabhat, yeah, you can refinish this particular paragraph, Prabhat.
Okay, I'll continue to read. Who is a man in material perplexities? It is he who does not understand the problem of life. In the Brahat Aranya Upanishad 3.8.10, the perplexed man is described as follows: Yova etad aksaram grayahe avidvasyam lokat pratitsa krapanaha. He is a miserly man who does not solve the problem of life as a human and who thus quit his world like a cats and dogs, without understanding the science of self-realization. This human form of life is a most valuable asset for the living entity, who can utilize it for solving the problems of life. Therefore, one who does not utilize this opportunity properly is a miser. On the other hand, there is a Brahmana, or he who is intelligent enough to utilize this body to solve all the problems of life. Ya edat aksaram gariti vidit was srmal lokat pratisa brahmanaha. The kripanas or
Yeah, anybody
miser.
else can read, Prabhu. Anil Prabhu, whomsoever. Let's finish this purport quickly. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Can another 8
Okay,
number
no
read?
problem, no
Yeah.
problem, Mataji. Who else can read? Pandu
Okay,
Prabhu.
can I read?
Yeah, Mataji, go ahead, Mataji.
The Kripanas or miserly persons waste their time in being overly affectionate for family, society, country, etc. in the material conception of life. One is often attached to the family life, namely to wife, children, and other members, on the basis of skin disease. The Kripana thinks that he is able to protect his family members from death, or the Kripana thinks that his family or society can save him from the verge of death. Such a family attachment can be found even in the lower animals, who take care of the children also. Being intelligent, Arjuna could understand that his affection for the family members and his wish to protect them from death were the causes of his perplexities. Although he could understand that his duty to fight was awaiting him, still on the account of miserly weakness, he could not discharge the duties. He is therefore asking Lord Krishna, the Supreme Spiritual Master, to make a definite solution. He offers himself to Krishna as a disciple. He wants to stop friendly talks. Talks between the master and the disciple are serious, and now Arjuna wants to talk very seriously before the recognized spiritual master. Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of the science of Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna is the first disciple of understanding the Gita. How Arjuna understands the Bhagavad Gita is stated in the Gita itself, and yet foolish mundane scholars explain that one need not submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna within and without, and one who has no sense of this understanding is the greatest fool in trying to understand Bhagavad Gita.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, very important line. Yet foolish mundane scholars explain that no need to submit to Krishna as a person, but to the unborn within Krishna. There is no difference between Krishna's within and without. This is what Krishna is saying. This is what Prabhupada is saying. But how do we understand this word? Foolish mundane scholars will accept the unborn within Krishna. What is that unborn within Krishna? Anybody? Try to read the sentence again. Okay, I'm just giving you 2-3 seconds. Try to understand.
Brahman, Brahman
Okay.
realization.
Okay. Okay. Then anybody? Any other point?
The impersonal Krishna.
Impersonal Krishna. Correct. Okay. Correct. How do you relate that? For example, foolish mundane scholars, when you want to understand Bhagavad Gita as an from an impersonal perspective, how do we understand that?
That how will that impersonal feature be a direct guru to you? I mean, how can you submit to someone who is not there?
This is Prabhupada's point of view, but foolish mundane scholars will say no. There is no personality called as Krishna separately. It is just the energy manifestation or the Brahman portion or who's there, somebody, some supreme power is there. All you have to do is just take that particular understanding and then go for it.
Focusing on light or something.
Yeah, focusing on light, focusing on air, focusing on fire, whatever be it. So this is nice, very nicely. The unborn within Krishna. Actually, it is there, but we are not able to realize. Somebody who is not able to realize will think. Okay, so Krishna Prabhupada is making therefore there is no difference between Krishna and within and so antar bahir avastita. Antar bahir. So whatever is within Krishna, what is outside Krishna is also Krishna's only, but nobody will be able to understand. They'll not be able to see there is no difference at all. But still, they'll think, oh, this is the supreme, this is the best. But beyond that, they will not be able to understand. Okay, that is why. Yeah, Mataji.
Prabhuji, the concept of Aham Brahmasmi, can it be related to this?
Yeah, it can be related to this. It can be directly related to this also, where I am the super, I am the person, I am the Brahman, I am the personality, everything is related to me. That way also we can understand. Okay. And this paragraph is all about kripana. Okay, so in normal definition, kripana means a miserly person, but Prabhupada is making the word kripana to a highest level of a materialist. We have this wonderful what is this Mr. Kailash story, right? Most of you know the Mr. Kailash story, correct? And if does anybody doesn't know the Mr. Kailash story, I think
I
most
don't
of
know.
you
I don't know, Prabhu.
Don't know, Prabhu.
don't know. Okay, okay, then we will end the class with that story. Who wants to tell the story? Best storyteller.
I don't know, Prabhu.
Oh, you also don't know? Okay. Who wants to tell the story? Rajagori Mataji, you want to tell the story? Mr. Kailash.
Prabhuji, I was just telling that I don't know the story.
Watch. Okay, I will find
Prabhu,
out.
can I tell the story?
Kirtida Mataji. Okay, Kirtida or Rama Rasika Mata, either of you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Rama Rasika can tell it more better. Yeah.
Okay.
No, you go ahead, Kirti Kumari.
Okay, go ahead. Good. Anybody is fine, Mataji. Anuja Mataji also. Anybody. Okay, Kirti Mataji, please.
Okay, so there was one person known as Kailash. He was a grihastha. So one day Narad Muni came to him and told him that, "Come, Kailash, I've come to take you to Lord. I'm heading to meet Lord, and I'll take you along with me. Come, I'll personally give you darshan of the Lord." He said, "No, no, I cannot come because I am very young still. I need to get married and need to go. I need to set my house and take care of my parents and all." So then Narad Muni said, "Okay, you complete, then maybe I will come next time. That time I'll take you." Next time when he comes, that time he is married and his house is set and everything is set. So Narad Muni says, "Now come." So he said, "No, no, I've just got married and I have a small child and I need to take care of the child. I need to work hard." So like this. So Narad Muni said, "Okay, I come next time." So he keeps on telling no to Narad Muni. So he has his kids, and then kids' business is set, and every time he tells no to Narad Muni. And then to the extent that he has become old, and Narad Muni says, "Now to you have everything set. Now come at least. I'm heading to meet the Lord." He's saying, "No, my children are extremely careless and they don't take care of the house and the business properly, so I need to be there to guide them." So Narad Muni says, "Okay." So next time when he comes, he asks the son, "Where is Kailash?" So the son says, "Father passed away." And then Narad Muni is feeling very sad, and that time a dog barks, and dog says that, "I'm Narad Muni, I'm Kailash." So Narad Muni says, "How you are in a dog's body? What are you doing here?" So that time the dog says that, "I am guiding this house. These people carelessly sleep at night. Thieves may come and take away all the wealth which has been stored so much with my efforts. So I have become a dog to take care of this house." And Narad says, "At least now come." He's saying, "No, no, no, no. If I don't guard this house, then again these people will lose on everything." Narad Muni says, "Okay, forget it." So then again next time when Narad Muni comes, asks, where is that dog?" So dog has died. And Narad Muni is wondering where Kailash would be now. And then in the fields he comes to know that he has become a snake. So Narad Muni says, "At least now come, Kailash. You've become a snake." So that time Narad Muni says, Kailash says, "Cannot. The the fields are need to be taken care. I live here in the fields to take care of this field and all. So I cannot leave." So that time Narad Muni says, "He is not gonna learn in this way. I need to teach him the lesson." So that time Narad Muni calls, shouts, "There's a snake, there's a big snake, there's a poisonous snake." And everybody comes to hit that snake badly. And they kill that snake. And that time Kailash learns the lesson, ki, no, 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 now I have to leave. So that this is how the story of Kailash is, that we are so bound, every time we are so bound with something or the other, that even when the opportunity is right in front of us, we forget to grasp it. So please, you can add much more to it.
Thank you, Madhaj. I think you covered the main point. So, family attachment is to so that story. A lot of fun part is also there, but more importantly, the message is, yeah, the more and more you get attached, the more and more we are bound in this material world. So, he had a wonderful opportunity, and Narada Rishi himself is coming, and then he's getting a ticket, but still he was bound for his family, his wealth, his children. And then after becomes a dog also, then he's still attached. After he becomes snake also, Narada Rishi actually will call his own grandchildren, okay, and then his grandchildren himself will kill him. So that is where this Kailash will realize that oh, my own grandchildren, they are not realizing that I'm there to protect them. So in that way is that way he gets a realization. So sometimes some hard thing is required for us to get the realization, right? So here Prabhupada is making that point very nicely. To protect his family members from death. Nobody can protect anybody from death. Okay, and then the more and more family attachment can be there even for lower animals also. So which means our material conception of life is called from a kripana state. Everybody are so much attached either to the family situation. And Prabhupada in Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur will talk about something called as the universal problem of too much attachment to country, too much attachment to society, too much attachment to family is also kind of a kripana state. Okay. So we need to come out of the kripana state, then only we'll be able to get. So these are all the foundation of getting gyan, which means when we do an introspection, one is who am I, who is the family, how is it, what am I doing, what actions is leading me to more and more attachment, what actions is leading me to more and more uh, getting self-realization is all very important. Okay, so that is what Prabhupada is also making. And here Krishna makes himself as the Shishya. So now, no, not kind of any kind of friendly talk here and there, but a talk between a master and disciple is always serious, which means very important topics, how to understand, how to get knowledge, and then not wasting time, asking very specific pointed question, and then getting that particular answer is also very important. So before the recognized spiritual master, this is also very important. Not like any ordinary thing. Okay. So Krishna is therefore the original spiritual master of science of Bhagavad Gita. So Prabhupada is making that emphasis very clearly. And Arjuna is the first disciple for understanding the Gita. Okay, I think then we will stop here today. So we will pray at the lotus feet of Krishna. So now Arjuna's position is very clear, and we are also in a ready state to get the Bhagavad Gita's knowledge. The understanding of Atma Sakshakaram will start. The science of self-realization. How do we, from an analytical perspective, how do we understand the Jivatma? How do we differentiate ourselves more from an Atma perspective and not from a bodily perspective is very important. Then we'll get into the next sessions. Okay. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Any questions?
Great.
Okay. So today we saw Arjuna's lamentation, which is the first 10 slokas, more of how do we understand his final composure coming down, and then there is self-realization portion. So from 11th onwards, from the next sloka onwards, Krishna will talk more. From 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th onwards, he will start talking about the science of soul. A very detailed section from 11th to 30th sloka. And today we also saw about the Supreme Lord's different levels of understanding from a normal Brahma realization to Paramatma realization to Bhagavan realization is important. Why do we call Krishna as Bhagavan? That is also very important. So in the coming sections, we will talk about science of self-realization, then followed by Karma Yoga portion. Okay. So this is what we ended today. I'm confused about my duty because of my weakness. Most importantly, I'm becoming your Sishya and the soul surrendered unto you. That is what is the important point. Okay. Hare Krishna. Shila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananda Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Yeah.
So Krishna willing, Saturday morning, same 8:30 we will connect. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Krishna, thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you,
Krishna
Prabhu.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Dandat pranam, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu.